We're going to start with the CEO of ideaForge, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Ankit Mehta. The stage is yours. Looking forward to your remarks.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here and to talk about a topic that Dr. Vijay very elaborately detailed about the journey that our country has had in terms of building onto the drone technology domain. And I want to juxtapose that with the fact that it is not just the journey of drone technology, but it's actually the journey of innovate deep tech in our country, which is closely associated with our own journey at ideaForge, because we've been building drones for the last 21 years. We started by building our first quadcopter drone way back in 2004. And at that time, it started off as a fun project at my alma mater at IIT Bombay. And that fun project over the years mushroomed into initially a means of survival for us so that we could earn a little bit that could help us sustain, survive, but mushroomed into a full-fledged business for us when in 2009 we launched India's first quadcopter drone that was meant for serving our forces, inspired by what we saw in 2008, in 26/11, when India was under attack on terrorism, and we saw that to fight terrorism, we needed eyes on targets, and those eyes were at that time being provided by helicopters. And we felt that it is one disaster packed over another possible disaster because it is such a large target when trying to observe things from such close quarters. And therefore, we decided that whatever development we had done in this technology for the last 5 years, we will take all of that and build a product that can serve the forces in our country to help solve for terrorism and insurgency. And I am extremely glad to report that I can, with a lot of confidence, say that we have had a role in helping mitigate this problem in our country to a large extent and to a good extent over the last many years of deploying this technology with our forces on ground. In 2008, we had achieved another milestone when to our DRDO labs, we had delivered the world's smallest and lightest autopilot at that time. And the competitor autopilot was actually a company from Germany, a company called Micropilot. And they used to make an autopilot at that time weighing about 16 grams. And we had delivered to our labs an autopilot weighing less than 10 grams. It was about 8 grams. So we had the need and the necessity to build something extremely lightweight because the challenges that our labs were trying to solve at that time were to build very small drones that could ill afford any additional few grams that we could shave off would directly go into building a better product or a better solution for them. So the journey that began in 2004, we continued to develop the technology, launched our first product in 2009. And since then, we have delivered this technology to our defense, homeland security, police, and several government departments for doing either a security mission or a geospatial mission that has not just helped save lives, but it has also helped create an environment where in our country we are helping our rural India gain rights on the properties that they've never had ownership of but have been living in those properties for generations. India has sparked a unique program called the Swamitva program, where we are mapping all the 660,000 villages of our country and creating property cards using drone technology and giving ownership of those houses that people have lived in for generations for the first time. It is a massive mapping exercise being undertaken countrywide, and a large portion of that exercise has already been done. And that entire exercise is backed using drone technology. And I am actually glad to report that it is a lot of Indian drones that are participating, and it is some German technology as well that is helping map as a part of that entire program. So it's a very exciting space where we are developing drones, starting with security, moving on to doing enterprise, geospatial, and a lot of social work and social gain as well. And what is very important in this technology is to build for the local conditions. And our journey has been that of building for the local conditions and to create technology grounds up for the local conditions. I remember in 2004-5 time frame, there was essentially no real technology that was usable at a very large scale in this domain. So we had to grounds up build our own capability, our own technology. In 2007, we built our first autopilot. It was 2 years prior to autopilots becoming an open source commodity in that one sense. We had to build our own communication system layer because very uniquely in India, they had concatenated the spectrum around the free Wi-Fi bands with 4G spectrum. And that made it very difficult for us to do any long-range missions using the technology that we had at that time. And we built our own communication stack to help mitigate that challenge. And similarly, for pretty much every part of the technology chain, we had to build our own technology, and courtesy of that, we've filed over 90 patents globally, and we've been building and adding value to each and every layer of the technology over the last 15 to 20 years of building in this space. And what's unique about doing this in India is the fact that when you do it in India, you're doing it for some of the most challenging environmental conditions in the world. We are talking about solving for negative 30 degrees centigrade. We are talking about solving for plus 55 degrees centigrade, because while we have very cold weather, we also have extremely hot weather on the western fronts of our country, as well as we have to operate and deliver technology that can work at a takeoff altitude of more than 6,000 meters as well, because we have border posts at that altitude as well in our country. So building technology in India means building for the world, building something that is capable of operating pretty much anywhere that we can think of. And what's also very special about building in India is that you get the ability to build for challenges like what Sir had enumerated earlier, that range from the spectrum of building for defense to building for public safety, security, law enforcement, to building for use cases around insurgency, enterprise, and very large geospatial programs and plans. And that room for building grounds up capability exists in our country. And that's something that we've enjoyed over the last few years. And that's what we are doing now. When we look at our own capability at ideaForge, we are building drones as small as less than 2 kgs to something as large as 500 kilograms in all-up weight. And we are building it for not just doing security, surveillance, geospatial applications, but we are also building them to enable logistics at altitudes as high as takeoff altitudes of 6,500 meters. So it's a very exciting domain. It's a very vast domain insofar as drones is concerned, many applications. And we are leading the charge, and we are trying to build it such that we can create an environment where we can deliver best performing systems, very reliable, resilient. They have to be resilient in today's world, and to also make sure that they are autonomous so that less skilled people can also use and deploy this technology at scale, like we had heard in the previous parts. Thank you so much.